So yeah, as I said, I'm over from Edinburgh, and very interesting hearing the discussion today. Just a couple of things from the perspective of the other side of the world. Mulesing is just something that Scottish farmers, I would say, 95% of them have never even heard of it. We've shown Numnuts at the Highland Show, and when you talk about mulesing, they don't even know what you're talking about. So where Numnuts came from was our main issue over in the UK is obviously we still tail up and castrate our sheep. And our position when we first started looking at this was we felt one of the biggest threats to the sheep farming industry was actually the smartphone. If you look at what happens with the animal rights activists type of thing, they're able to take a smartphone, a student or a backpacker can take one onto a farm now, take a bit of footage of something that doesn't look particularly pleasant, put it on the internet, and the next thing everything flares up. That was the reason why we focused on using the rubber ring and looking around anaesthetic with rubber ring, because we felt that actually it's the least graphical of all the processes that happen. Our position is that we think that the hot knife is a very effective tool, but its issue is if someone turns up onto your farm with a smartphone, if you've never seen that before, it doesn't look great. So, Numnuts. This is where I come from, what sheep look like. This was the one sunny day that the picture was taken, I think. Sorry about all the grass, I know a lot of you have problems, but yeah, this is, I live just outside Loch Lomond. That's where I live there. And yeah, 12 weeks ago my family got on the fast boat and we moved over to Australia. And I think the thing, just like we've heard with others, the fantastic story that Australia has is although this was developed in Scotland, the design engineering was done there, it's been very much an international collaboration. And this product has been launched in Australia first. And I think you guys should be really happy about that. And we've heard before, these products are only available in Australia. The reason for that is that AWI and MLA got behind us. They got behind us big time. And they saw this issue, whereas we struggled to get funding and get this off the ground in the UK, and we came over here and we made it happen. And these are some of the people that made it happen. We have 5 partners involved: Cyro, Ali Small. This was back 5-6 years ago. Myself, Ian Colbert's one of the real seminal guys in Taylorleaf. Jim Rothwell, who's the main guy involved at MLA in animal welfare. Jane Littlejohn, now the head of AWI, was behind this back in 2013. So these people got behind the concept, the idea, and funded us and got what going. So, excuse me. Our approach, right? I'm a design engineer. I'm not a vet. We took a slightly different approach to the way that normal pharmaceutical companies work. What we looked at was how does the pain manifest itself, and as you've heard from Ali, the first hour of pain, if you like, is where the pain is its most acute. You'll see that as the lambs come out of the marking cradle to have a rubber ring put on. That's when the thrashing, the really sort of hard behaviours take effect. And then they go into a secondary pain phase over the next sort of 1 to 24 hours, which is more like a sort of the backache pain. And when we looked at it, as I said, we chose rubber ring as our method. We realised there was nothing out there that really helps farmers in a farm context put in anaesthetic, which is the most effective drug, to get over that acute pain phase. Vets can come and do that with a needle and syringe, and they can nerve block and that type of thing, but that's impractical in a farm context. You're not going to do 3,000 sheep in a day with a needle and syringe and a vet. The cost would simply be too high. So our approach and where it all came from was the vet at Modern Research in Edinburgh just posed a very simple question. Said, I don't think that this is a veterinary issue, I think this is a design engineering issue. If we know that local anaesthetic works, it's just a case of can we get it into the right spot at the right time, each time, every time, and can you design me a tool that will do that? And that's really where the Numnuts story began. It's been a pretty long journey over 5-6 years of development. This is just a handful. This is up to Mark 5. The actual device that we've finished with is Mark 16. Lots of different iterations, trial, error, looking at needle angles, needle depths, testing at Cyro, failing, coming back, trying something again, and eventually we've got there where we have something that we now know will significantly reduce the pain for male and female lambs, the tail and the testes. One more slide for it to do. The product has actually two parts to it. There's the device, which is a novel applicator. It puts the rubber ring on and it uses the ring as a clamp. And there's Numnuts, which is the local anaesthetic. And the two work hand in hand together in order to actually create the effect. What is actually in that bottle is up for development. And I open my arms to any of the pharmaceutical companies in the room that would like to work with us to increase or improve what goes into that bottle. But what we have here is a method of introducing pain relief in combination with a rubber ring at lamb marking time. So this video, I think, perhaps explains slightly better how it works in a context on a farm.
We were first asked to look at the solution to pain animals experience during the necessary husbandry procedures of tail docking and castration. First we asked vets, and they told us their pain relief drug of choice for pets is to use an injectable local anaesthetic, but they said the issue was delivering it safely and targeted to the right place in a farm environment. And farmers told us it needed to be quick, easy and reasonably priced. They were insistent that it didn't slow down the marketing process. We spent years designing, testing and refining a system that's fast, safe and simple to use. And here it is, the patented Numnuts device. There are three aspects to the tool. First, we've got the applicator. It uses the same illustrator rings as standard pliers, so from that point of view, it's a familiar process. But we've considered the ergonomics of the tool to make it more user-friendly, as well as fit female hands. And crucially, it incorporates a needle and injector, allowing you to administer the anaesthetic consistently at the right spot and at the same time as applying the ring. We've worked hard to make a custom injector that works in 2 stages using a single button. With the band in place acting as a guide for the injector, the first stage moves the needle forward out of its safe position and into the animal. Then as you continue to push the button, you deliver the dose. With one hand on the applicator and the other on the injector, both hands are always away from the needle. The third part of the system is a quick change cartridge. It's got 100 ml of Numnuts local anaesthetic, which is good for about 65 doses. When the bottle's finished, it's just a case of twisting one off, putting a new one on, and you're ready to go again. It's fast, it's simple, it takes the hassle out of broaching bottles, and you and the lambs don't have draw-off tubes to get tangled up in. And as an extra level of safety, the design of the cartridge also restricts access to the drug when it's not in use. We've been developing and testing the prototypes out here in the farm environment, and we've helped relieve the pain that would otherwise have been felt by thousands of lambs during our trials. The farmers and contractors we work with have picked up the process of using the new tool very quickly. It's not slowed down the marking of the lambs, and we're really getting positive feedback from them. Happy lambs, happy farmers.
Okay, so that's the device. I know what all of you are wondering, how much does it cost? The device itself is $385, including GST. The Numnuts is 67 cents a dose. So if you're using it on a male lamb and you're doing the tail and the testes, that'll be $1.30. And obviously just for the new lambs, it's 67. So it averages out to $1 a head. Simple maths, 1,000 sheep, and you get $1,000. 0 days withholding period, and you can see the rest of the other stats. Availability, this year it's our pilot year. We only have 500 tools in the country, so we're selling it direct. One of our largest challenges coming from the other side of the world has been to get the distribution and that sort of thing sorted, and that's been what's kept me very busy and awake a lot at night over the last 8 weeks. But we're definitely there now. We're getting tools into farmers' hands within a couple of days by express post, and we distribute it directly from a warehouse in Melbourne. That's the Numnuts to vet practices, and the device is just coming directly from me to your farm gate. There's a cost calculator on the website which helps you have a look at how much it costs in a particular scenario. So you just go to numnuts.store and you'll see register out my interest and find out how much it costs. So rather than me sort of stand as a Scottish guy saying what to do, I thought it would probably be worth showing a couple of the early users' videos that have tried it. This is Audrey Bird over in WA, who was one of our very first users over in May. I just thought it would be worth you hearing from her.
Yep, Audrey Bird from Wimbledon, and we trade at indoor farms. So we're about 250 kilometres southeast of Perth in Western Australia. We've got two flocks. We've got a merino self-replacing flock, and we also got some first cross ewes, Bull Leicester merino cross ewes that we breed prime lambs with. It just makes good sense. It's all part of being aware and looking out for things that can help run our business better, help profitability, and also the animal welfare side of things. I mean, I am a great animal lover, and anything I can do to ease the pain. I mean, both good for the lamb and good for us farmers. I think it's a win-win, really. Thanks to Robin Smith from Numnuts. He has agreed after some pestering from me, because I've been watching this product for a couple of years now. I've been really keen to try it on our flock and to see how this new applicator and this new system, the pain relief system, would work in the cold face, I suppose you'd call it, out in the yards along the cradle. And yeah, I've been there's been 3 of us that are working in the cradle, have all had a go, and we've been very impressed with the design of the applicator. We're finding it actually easier to get the rings on than a normal illustrator applicator, and applying the pain relief it's very easy, and it hasn't slowed us down at all. So all in all, I'm very, very excited about the fact that this will be released soon and be available to every sheep farmer to use. I think it's great product, and it's great to see things like this coming along. And they were still showing some signs of pain, but after they'd been out of the cradle for a minute or two, you could see that when they were going back to their mums, they weren't screaming around like what they normally do. They were still showing some discomfort, but definitely not to the extent that they were showing it before.
Okay, so just lastly, I know I was at Sheepbench, and a lot of people are asking, who's used it, how's it going, what's going on. So just to give you an idea, as Don said, it's been available. Well, the device has been available for 8 weeks now. The Numnuts supply has only really come online 4 weeks ago through the vets. So just to give you a sense of it, we've sold 134 devices in the last 8 weeks, over 1,000, just over 1,100 bottles. So we think there's about 75,000 lambs that have been treated over the last week. So by far the general response I'm getting from farmers that have used it is the same as Audrey there. It's they're really noticing the suppression of active behaviours as they come out of the cradle. Some of the feedback here, I guess this relates a little bit to the market space and how I think the market is really changing with this. When this was launched in Armdale at the Marina Link conference, the Land magazine put it up, how widely it's been shared on social media, some of the comments, they could try with some politicians, but you can see that I think it had over 122 comments. People really are trying to engage with this sort of stuff. There's been some producers that have done some of their own little trials on sites. This guy, Andrew Edgar's been fantastic. He's put his results up on Twitter. He did a mob of 380 with the device and then another without, and he's been posting his results for people to see. For him, the big improvement was driving his lambs back to the paddock afterwards. He got them out to the yards, back into the fields, and mothering up faster after use. Some of the other sort of comments, we've got marketing contractors starting to come on board. Lisa's been fantastic with it. She's using it on 4,000 lambs next week. And also a number of people, as you saw Audrey, you might have seen the Bothelgesic gun there as well, a number of people using multimodal already as well, but sort of leading the pack with that idea of using first local anaesthetics to get over the acute pain, and then the Bothelgesic to help with the chronic pain. So very much Numnuts is highly complementary with all the other products that exist here today. This was a vet who the sheep's back last Wednesday. Three farms that he'd supplied it to, and feedback that the males are definitely more alert, displaying unusual, not displaying the unusual symptoms. The fact that we use meloxicam is a good combination. It works a treat. We'll be using it on my lambs next year. The people that are trying it are saying, I'm not going to go back. So I just thought that's a useful thing for you guys to see, because I know with new products it's always difficult. There's a lot of pressure on the farmer's purse, and you need to know that other people are out there and getting on well with it. So I've got a demo at the back there with my demonstrator lamb. Happy to give you a shot after lunch and come and have a go. Thank you very much.